All right, hi there, and thanks so much for checking in with us here at Atlanta News First Plus on a very busy Saturday here. I'm Megan Packer, and I'm here to get you updated on the big stories that we are following. The latest on yesterday's shooting near the CDC in DeKalb County that left a suspect and a police officer dead. We'll also talk about a plane crash that happened overnight in DeKalb County, so a really busy past 12 hours or so in DeKalb County. So let's start with the latest on yesterday's shooting near the CDC because we are learning some new information this morning from investigators. We can tell you that we now have a name of a suspect that the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has identified in this shooting. This is as we show you some video of what the scene looked like this morning. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is identifying the man accused of opening fire yesterday near Emory University and the CDC's campus as Patrick Joseph White, a 30-year-old from Kennesaw. He died in that shooting yesterday, but at this point it is not clear if he was shot by police or if he took his own life. He was found on the second floor of a building right across from the CDC. Now, we know DeKalb County Police Officer David Rose, who was 33 years old, was shot and killed during all of this yesterday. He leaves behind a pregnant wife and 2 children. So the DeKalb County Police Department is in mourning right now as they come to terms with losing one of their officers. This all started just before 5 o'clock yesterday. This is a look at that scene yesterday, just so active, many agencies responding. They were called out to the CVS at Emory Point, which is a mixed-use development right near Emory, right across the street from the CDC headquarters, if you are familiar with this area. And this morning, our crew saw at least a dozen bullet holes in the windows of the CDC building. A law enforcement official told the Associated Press the shooter was armed with a long gun, and authorities found 3 other firearms at the scene. So this is still under investigation this morning, but again, started as this active shooter call yesterday near that CVS. Police came out. This first responding officer on scene, 33-year-old David Rose, who was with the DeKalb County Police Department, was shot and killed. And you can see that the flags are at half staff here outside of the police department headquarters in DeKalb County. Firefighters were out there this morning lowering those flags. And we have a picture here of Officer Rose, again, just 33, leaving behind a pregnant wife and 2 children. So just so much heartbreak today in DeKalb County, and still a lot to learn about this accused shooter, Patrick Joseph White, 30 years old, from Kennesaw. So the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is taking the lead on this. We know the FBI also involved, Atlanta Police, several agencies, and we will keep you updated as we learn more. Still a lot of moving pieces here with this, but that's the very latest as far as where things stand this morning. Quickly, just want to let you know about another story out of DeKalb County, a small plane crash from overnight. This is some scene video from this morning of the small plane that went down on a front yard right across the street from DeKalb-Peachtree Airport. It happened around 12:30 this morning at the corner of Claremont Road and 9th Street in Brookhaven. PDK Airport is right across the street. 3 people were on board, survived. The small plane belongs to All To Fly Flight School based at PDK Airport. Preliminary radar data indicates that the Piper PA-28 departed PDK Airport at about 10:51 last night for a flight to Rome, Georgia, before returning to PDK. Upon return, officials tell us the aircraft conducted multiple touch-and-go landings, which they say is a standard practice for flight training before that crash happened. Preliminary findings show that the plane hit several trees before coming to rest in the yard that you see here. No homes were damaged, which is remarkable. Nobody on the ground was hurt. And again, all 3 people in the plane got out. Some of the most severe injuries, we're told, were a broken wrist and a broken ankle. The NTSB and the FAA are getting involved now to investigate this. All right, let's talk about our forecast right now. Not only are we tracking those main top stories of the weekend, but we are also talking about what is making news and what is making weather headlines this morning because there's a lot going on in the weather world, and we've been getting a nice little break from the heat. First Alert meteorologist Isaac Williams is here to talk about these below average temperatures. And now you're also going to talk about a storm possibly brewing out there, right?
That's right. Yeah, Megan, we've got some tropical issues maybe developing, but right now you're seeing the rest of the day's forecast here, and it is looking pretty good and feeling pretty good too. We just have a small chance at a shower out there today. That's a look here at the rest of the day's forecast. Good morning, and it's almost lunchtime. Temperatures still below 80. We're getting into the 80s, though, this afternoon with just a 20% chance of rain. And then this evening, 9 p.m. looks good. Any dinner plans? Going out tonight, looking good, feeling good, back in the 70s for that. Looking ahead to the temperatures and kind of just recapping August so far, we're only 9 days into the month. We had our hottest day on the first day, August the 1st, which was last Friday, 94 degrees. The coolest day was just a few days after that, 69 degrees for the high temperature. And then overall, as we kind of just add up the 8 days of high temperature so far, we've gotten an average of 81, which is 9 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year. So, this unseasonably not hot pattern is going to continue for a while. Here's a look at radar this morning. We have some big storms overnight in the Midwest. Omaha getting 80 to 90 mile per hour winds in the middle of the night. Thankfully, those storms look a little weaker. Not coming here, of course. We're looking at the nearest storm activity near and just south of Savannah. They had a flash flood warning overnight down in the coastline area. But for us, we're going to be kind of just wedged in with this cloud cover again today with limited rain potential. You can see here a closer look at radar. Savannah looks like storms either right overhead or just south of there may be impacting you folks again. But that moisture does not work its way into North Georgia today. So the forecast here, you can see the rainiest part of the forecast is going to be from about Macon southward today, nowhere close to North Georgia, so a stray shower or two possible, and that's going to be about the extent of what we see for rain coverage up this way today. Here's a look at tomorrow, so we'll see a mostly cloudy start like we did today, but notice the chance for rain just a little bit better tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Not everybody will see it, but relative to today, we should see a little bit better chance at some showers entering North Georgia, including metro Atlanta tomorrow afternoon. And I think we will see a generally overcast day tomorrow. We may see a little sunshine mixed in, but overall, the persistence of the cloud coverage certainly will continue. A first alert weather day for Monday, so we have chances for rain increasing to start the week. This is going to start a wetter pattern, and you can see a pretty good shot to see some wet weather at times on Monday. So not a washout. We may see a few thunderstorms, no severe weather in the forecast, but this is returning us to kind of a more active pattern. You can see Tuesday and Wednesday also holding a 50% chance of rain, and we may need one or more first alert weather days for those days as well once we kind of figure out which day or both might be most impactful to your plans and to your routine. We do see rain chances slack off slightly by the end of next week, highs warming up to back into the low 90s. By Friday. So if we see the 90-degree temperature Friday, we will have gone 14 days without a 90-degree high temperature, which is pretty remarkable. After we had a really hot June and really hot July, we are backing things off at least for the first couple days of August. To the tropics, so the Hurricane Center updates every 6 hours. As of the 8 o'clock update this morning, just a 20% chance of development of that lead wave in the Atlantic as it moves east of Bermuda and into the open waters. What could be a little more problematic is back to the east. So we have a new wave emerging off the coast of Africa that has a 40% chance of development. Most of our models do indicate that there will be some kind of development with this in about a week. So we're going to be watching that going forward here. But again, we've got 10 plus days to watch this. But it's something that we will keep tabs on because obviously mid-August typically signals an increase in tropical development. So that's something that we will watch closely, but no need to panic or anything like that now. Here's another look at the 7-day. Again, mostly dry today, some scattered rain tomorrow, and then we'll see that busier weather pattern settle in for the first few days of next week. Check in with JD this evening for another check of the forecast. Remember, you can always get the very latest news and weather inside the Atlanta News First news app and the Atlanta News First weather app.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text WEATHER to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.